Honestly, I'm kind of nervous.
Tanner, I just yelled at you. You're in your car in front of my house.
We didn't know if this is the house or not. Okay, we're coming in. I mean, this is like mint chip.
It's mint, yeah.
And that, to me, is what makes the value of a board.
Over the last couple years, Craiglisting surfboards has become quite a hobby for me. You can track down boards that you can't find in surf stores anymore. You know, you can really zero in on certain eras of surfing. Sometimes they're at pretty affordable prices. Over the last couple years, though, I found through searching all these boards that it's really hard to find a specific value on surfboards. You know, sometimes one shaper is being listed for tens of thousands of dollars, and the same shaper can have a different listing for, $10, $20, $100. So to get to the bottom of that question, how to find the actual value of surfboards, we headed down to check in with San Diego's surfboard historian, Eric Bird-Huffman.
The whole thing about how do you establish a value on a surfboard? Wherein does lie the value? Is it the condition of the board? For some people, that's the number one thing. Is it how the board rides? That's the number two thing, generally. For me, it's what the board says, So if you look around, obviously you'll see a ton of different boards that don't necessarily ride well, and they're obviously not in the cherry condition, but it's what the board says about either who shaped it, who glassed it, who wrote it, what time of surfing's history was that board developed during, whose influences went into that board. So it's just a big piece of the puzzle. So most of the boards that I've ever appraised in terms of value of board, if people wanted to get mercenary on it, they generally weren't cherry, never ridden boards. They're generally boards that have the story. And that, to me, is what makes the value of a board. So it's not how many boards you have. That does not make you king of the hill. It's what the boards are you have and what they mean to you.
I'm kind of nervous, to be honest, because this is the most money I've ever spent on a surfboard, ever. After a couple back and forths on Craigslist, I did end up realizing that I knew who was selling the board. It's Tom Servais. This board, of course, I've never even seen a Michael Peterson hand shape in my life, and it looks like it's in pristine condition. I think he bought it in Australia. So I'm excited to kind of meet up with Tom and kind of hear the backstory on what we're about to see.
Tanner, I just yelled at you. You're in your car in front of my house.
We didn't know if this is the house or not. Okay, we're coming in.
All right, I'll be right down in a second.
Hey,
Tom,
Tanner.
your house is insane.
Oh, thanks, man. I love where I live. I don't have a yard, but I have the beach instead.
This is amazing. Dude, good to see you.
Great to see you, man. I was just talking to Jeff Devine.
Oh, no.
He said that he's been on a trip with you before. He goes, man, that guy's a good surfer, and so is his brother Patrick. And I go, by the way, his brother Dane's a good surfer too.
That's
they're
legendary.
all super good, yeah. Yeah, these are a couple old photos. This is Toto Santos. This was actually my first cover shot of Brock Little. And
that's Toto's?
That's Toto's, but it's flop because in the old days when we did the magazine, the photos were always flop for some reason. This was called color separations, and these would come in and we'd mark these. Devine would mark these things up. Oh, more detail in the white water, more open this up, more contrast. So here's the board. It's in pristine condition.
I mean, this is mint chip.
It's mint, yeah. Yeah, he signed it and he oversaw the production.
This is incredible. I'm almost scared to touch it.
I was when you said I'm going to take it right down the beach and surf it, I went, okay, he's going to wax it up right away. But you know what Chris Malloy told me? It's not a surfboard until you ride it.
What is your thoughts on that, Tom? Because these boards are so incredibly special. What's the difference of a wall hanger versus one that has to be ridden?
I don't know. Wall hangers are nice, but I think any board could be a wall hanger if it's special, even if it's been ridden, Yeah. I thought about riding it, but then I thought, well, I don't know. I think one day it's going to be valuable and someone will appreciate having it. Usually when you put stuff on Craigslist, you're ready to bargain down. Yeah. But I wasn't ready to bargain on this because I just thought $1,500 was a good price for this. And I just thought, I'm not a board collector. I know guys that I don't have that kind of money to be collecting all this stuff. I'm a surf photographer.
Yeah, but you're in it deep. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And what is important to you as a collectible?
You know what's important to me is that I found a good home for it.
That's epic.
That it's going to be with you. You know, having it go to you means more to me. You know. And this is the photo of him holding the actual board.
Yeah, like did this photo come with the board? Or?
Yeah, it came with the board, and I saved the receipt. And see what I pay, $800 or $900, $978. But that, you know, it was probably only $500 or $600 in US dollars.
That's so sick.
And that's Michael Peterson. Unfortunately, that's him and his, you know, when he wasn't so healthy.
I've always admired Michael Peterson. MP is an absolute Australian national treasure. He reigned in competition surfing through the 70s and was always regarded as a cult icon, mainly for his anti-hero personality in the limelight. MP's surfboards and surfboard design have always been considered cutting edge. He was known to handshape everything in that era and be quite secretive about it. I never really thought I'd come across one actually, let alone have the chance to surf it.
Oh boy.
Honestly, I'm kind of nervous. Waxing this thing up fresh, getting the base coat on it. I've been looking at this. I kept it in the house, just waiting for the swell to pick up enough. And today it looks like it's just there. It's such a beautiful day. And I'm gonna try it out here at lower trussels and see what that's gonna feel like. I don't know what to expect on this board. And so I think that'll just be a part of the experiment of the whole thing, which I'm looking forward to. So, here we go. After getting a couple waves on this board, it's easy to see that it's a magic board. But the experience of buying it is what's going to be so memorable to me. You know, the chance to stop by Tom Servais' house and catch up with an old friend, to hear his stories about buying this actual board, and then taking it down to Bird to check in and learn more about that era of surfing. It's just what makes the actual rides on this board so special to me. You know, all of that wrapped up together is exactly what makes getting this board so worth it. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you again. We'll see you next time. Just out of curiosity, on this, if you were to appraise it,
I'd put it at 2,500. You know, I don't know what you paid for it.
I ended up paying 1,500 for
That's
it.
total deal. Unridden board, Michael Peterson, I would have bought it.
Yeah.
And I rarely, ever buy boards.
Okay.
To me, this board has more value now because you've ridden it. So you take the pedigree of the board, you take your ability of a surfer, you mix in the Tom story. So you got three key elements that makes a board, to me, valuable. Who's heavy on that rear foot? Is that you? You crusher.
Crusher.